Here are 3 things if you own a launch monitor or a simulator, or even if you're just hitting balls, you can actually look at the grass and read some of the divot patterns. But 3 key things that I think can help you this off season to understand your golf clubs, your golf game, your golf swing. Let's do it. What a golf shot. You're putting loads of time into your golf. You have gone out and bought yourself a fancy piece of kit, or you have a buddy who has this. Awesome. You've got access to it. These places are popping up all over the world. Shout out Back 9. It's simulator golf. You're going to, without doubt, Google that thing, find it, and you're going to look at it and go, I want to go down and try simulator golf. The first thing you're going to do is have fun. You're going to play the golf course. You're going to be ripping it around there, but it's going to leave you wanting more. It's a computer at the end of the day. They always leave you wanting more. As you go back and grow your knowledge of what's happening, now you get beyond the fun of beating balls, you're into the weeds. You're going to want to know what all these data tiles actually mean, but more importantly, how can you manipulate them so you can beat your buddy, or you can just see better results and not waste your time just because you've got access to that fancy piece of kit. One of the first things you're going to look at, for sure, is going to be carry and total distance. So carry and total distance might seem simple, but you want to know it for all of your clubs that you've got. In its simplest form, a launch monitor or a simulator are going to be able to tell you your carry distances, but keep in mind it's off a mat, it's at sea level when things are perfect, so that can change. So one of the things that I love about this system, I've been messing around a little bit here, hitting left to right, right to left shots, but it's going to tell you your minimum, your average, and your maximum. So try to focus when you hit each club, because if you hit 4 or 5 balls with each club, it's going to give you that parameter for the minimum and the maximum. Now, other stuff that's going to come up here that's well worth talking about as you watch it, you can leave the flight up of a lot of golf balls and you can see the furthest left and the furthest right. This all comes back into a decade piece, a clip piece, a data piece. If you then map your session, I love this about the full swing kit. You can see the rings of where the majority of your balls go. So look, we've got this set up for a little draw into that back pin, but the thing that is throwing me is that I haven't really missed left of the flag yet. So my aim point to a dangerous back pin doesn't actually need to be, if I haven't missed left, I can get a little bit more aggressive here on the aim and move a little bit left of it if I want to just literally be aggressive with this play. So that one is straight at it, and there's the first ball since we've been here that have missed left of the flag. I've hit about 6, 4 of them are right, 1 of them is short, and that particular one there is left of the pin. That would be an uber aggressive line. I wouldn't expect you to take that in a tournament, but know if your average is leaking to the right, and you know that your minimum carry distance gets you to the front of the green and your maximum gets you just long, now you're building data that can help you for aim points on targets. A flag like that, yes, I want to be going slightly right, but the way I'm hitting it today, right is the tendency, so you can bring your aim point a little bit further left. So that's carry, total, and also my aim point, because I would look at it with left and right side options too. Data is only as good as what you put in. It's just a fact of the whole thing. As I look at this to target number, you can see here my minimum left shot, it's always center, is average 14.8 away. The minimum closest is 6.6, and the maximum furthest away is 27.1. Now, I don't have left and right miss in there. That's something else you can add. But it's worth noting that when you don't focus, your furthest away from the target shot here is going to be the 27 yards. That, on a left pin, on a generous green, would just about catch the edge. But if the pin isn't center or isn't left side, then that's missing the green. So always try and focus on each shot you hit on a launch monitor, because it's precious data. So if you can keep your mind locked in to what you're trying to do, then you can keep it connected to a real form of golf. So path is crucial, but I'm going to give you the most important one at the end, and it does connect in with this one. So path is going to be, and I want everyone to understand this, that if the target line is the 183 that we can see on the board, and I've got the ball to target line. Just digest that. Ball here to target. Goes straight through and over my club and down to the 183. The path continues out of the back as well. So we've got the straight line continuing out the back. Now, the relationship at which the club passes through that line. So for example, if the ball's in the center and the club comes this way, this side is called in, that side is called out. Guess what? We've got IO on our path degrees. In to out. If then we hit out to in, OI, out to in. So let's cover and demonstrate an in to out. So as mentioned, out to in moving this way, into out moving that way. Big into out would be, ball obviously goes right. We're going to get to that in the next one. Not worried about the result this time, but worried about that. Into out 12.6. So you can see if the club is moving that way, if 0 is between the two, then going into out is 12.6. All things you need to work on, which tie into why you want to put down alignment 6 to have yourself orientated correctly to the target. Okay, so the last one and the most important is going to be face. Your face hits the ball. The reason I covered path is because path and face relation are important for shot shaping. But if I stand here with a face aimed left, okay, I mean, look at that thing, and I swing into out, the face always, and this is another place where it's great to test. So closed, C, 14.1. Now I've got it the other way, and you should test these exaggerations. And that was gripped miles open. Well, the ball started right, didn't it? It always starts nearer the face. But what was the face angle? Open, 16.7. So my path look is 0.5. So it's pretty good path. But if you focus on the face, whether it's the Tommy Fleetwood hold the face through the ball, whether it's the Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose, shut the face halfway down feel, whatever you're trying to feel. That'll be a neutral face. And that's where my shot has been into this back pin, left back pin, but that'll be a neutral face. So 3 open to an into out 4.5 path. If the path is into out 4.5 degrees and the face is less than that path, you start to bring in a shot shape. The face is king. Remember that. Let's try and get the face more close to the path. That came out lower. You can see it drawing back into the pin. You know, if you've been listening, it went further. Into out 5.2, 0.4 closed. So the difference between those two is greater. And because it's closed to the path by almost 5 degrees, you get the draw. So try and find what half and half feels like. Let's get a 2.5 open to a 5 path. You can tell from the ball flight, it's not going to be it. It's going to be closer to the first one. The face isn't going to be closed enough. And this is so important because, see, the numbers are too close. This is so important that this would be the #1 thing. If you had access to a simulator or a launch monitor, this is, too many people get sucked into carry and total and speed and smash factor and blah, blah, blah. This is it. This is the number because the face hits the ball. The hands hold the grip. The loft and the lie hit the club, hit the ball. Think about all of my videos. In terms of importance, think what hits it. Big difference again, big draw again. But as you go through the checklist for your golf clubs and you go through a lesson with your golf coach, if they're not moving the face, they're going to make 0 impact on your game if you need to move the face. Think about the modern day golf swing. If you have any idea of looking at stuff on camera, the face remains passive versus old school where it would flip. So everything comes back to face being king and the impact loft and lie can have on the golf club All of those things go into your fitting and your golf lesson. So if the number one thing you work on is trying to get, for me here, maybe the face half of the path would be lovely. And I might have just finished with a chance. What a golf shot. You'd be stoked, right? Into that back pin, a little unlucky, maybe the yardage too much. Still not there though. It's open 0.1, into out 3.5. But take the positives. All the into outs on the path, all of the faces being consistent. Then you go back to some other drills that we put up where you can work the other way. Because if you work your golf game too much into out, then you can't hit out to in. So it's about balancing it, which comes back to why, if you have this system, rather than just standing there with your buddies and drinking and having fun, I get it, but rather than making it the gamification, actually learn, and face and path are absolute key to giving you success as you train this winter.